Hey guys, how you doing? We got another update here. Something I think we should talk about is the relationship between the U.S. and Russia and what's going on, because Trump and Putin met at the G20 summit, and afterwards they seemed to both get along. You know, the mainstream media, of course, was pushing all this Russian hacker, Russian collusion bullshit that they've been pushing, but that's just because of, you know, they're pushing an agenda. But if we get down to the nitty-gritty things, what you really need to see is, you know, how ridiculous this relationship has been lately. Right now, the United States of America is having exercises in the Black Sea. We just deployed the first Patriot missiles to Lithuania, and that's the first Patriot missiles that we've put in the Baltics. And, you know, the Baltics are really close to Russia. They do not want those missiles there. You know, we've been going tit for tat lately with Russia. We deployed Marines to Norway. Russia's been threatening, like Norway, Denmark, Sweden, all these different countries, saying, "Hey, don't play nice with NATO," because it's everyone knows it's not, you know, it's not new news that Russia and NATO just don't get along. They're natural enemies. But you know, after this meeting between Trump and Putin, I thought, okay, sweet, we're going to start seeing our relations go into a better direction. Well, then we start seeing these exercises going on. Right now, we have a ceasefire in southwest Syria. But, guys, we're also seeing Russia do live fire exercises off the coast of Cyprus in the Mediterranean. Also, the USS George H.W. Bush is in that region. So there's just a lot of military movement going on. There's a lot of military activity that seem to be geared towards one another. And you would think after that meeting, it would cool down. We would see maybe some influx of friendly relations between Russia and China. But that doesn't seem to be the case at all. And you gotta wonder, you know, what's the bigger picture here? Because honestly, like the ceasefire in Syria that they have going on, I think it'll last maybe a couple weeks to maybe a couple months. I think that ceasefire was drawn up just to give each other more time to prepare, and we're going to see a deeper, worse conflict in Syria between the U.S. and Russia. If it's not directly between U.S. and Russia, it'll be a proxy war like it has been, but it'll be even worse. And it seems like the U.S., they don't accept that Assad should be the leader of Syria. So we might see another regime change. Just what the world needs, right? Another regime change. But guys, there's a lot of relations that are breaking down here between the U.S. and China, between Russia and the U.S. A lot of relationships that have been rocky over the past couple of months, and we may have seen a glimmer of hope. We're not seeing anything produce, you know, friendly relations here. All right. Obama, before he left office, he expelled around 30 diplomats from Russia and seized their property. And the Russians haven't gotten that back. And Sergei Lavrov came out and stated that the U.S. should give them their property back and let these diplomats back in. And if the U.S. doesn't, then Russia's going to have to take retaliatory measures. You know, he didn't exactly say what those would be, but most likely they would do the same thing that the U.S. did to them: expel their diplomats and seize their property. And it's just not helping relations one bit. And there's also some reports coming out saying that Russia may be helping North Korea with their ICBM technology. And what we're seeing from Russia and China when it comes to the United Nations Security Council in North Korea, you know, you gotta wonder, is Russia and China really on the U.S. and in the Western world side when it comes to North Korea? We don't really know. They come out and say that they are, but, you know, actions speak louder than words. And you gotta ask yourself, why is all this happening? And honestly, this could all be happening because it's the globalist push for World War III. I believe that the U.S., China, and Russia are at a crossroads, and something big will happen in the future between these superpowers. Because these three big dogs in the yard are the only three big dogs, and each one of them wants to be the biggest dog. And we're seeing that with different actions all across the world. Now we're going to have to see how Russia responds to these exercises that are happening right on their doorstep. We'll have to see how they respond to the U.S. continuing to seize their property and expel their diplomats. We're going to have to see how Russia responds to so many different areas in the world: Syria, Ukraine, the Baltic. Really, honestly, there's so much going on in the world and there's so many different powder kegs that, any bit of action could light that fuse and turn it into a broader conflict. So we're gonna have to see, what happens next. But as always, guys, as more information comes out, I'll let you guys know. We'll discuss about it. We're trying to do what the mainstream media isn't doing here. We're trying to let you guys know of the really important things that you should care about. All right, so make sure you guys check back. But until next time, guys, keep your eyes peeled, keep praying, because there's so much going on in the world right now.